Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux, and today we're going to have a look at this little app here called the Layout Manager on MakuluLinux Shift. Now you can access the Layout Manager in three ways. You can either double click on the desktop, launch it from the desktop. You can either right click on the desktop and choose Layout Manager, which is probably the most preferred way most people will probably do it. Or you can open the portal in the panel, the little red M button, the portal. Go to Appearance Settings and then click on Layout Manager. So you have three ways to do it. So let's take a look at the Layout Manager. Now the Layout Manager allows you to shift from one desktop environment to another. Okay, it transforms your desktop to any of these 8 pre-made templates on the Layout Manager. Now it's not only the menus that change or only the backgrounds, it's everything. The panels change, the docks change, the menus change, the icons change, the wallpapers change, the transparency changes, the variations in shading and coloring and so forth. It basically changes everything. Even your cursors change, okay? So within a few seconds, I'm in a virtual box, so it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to change here, but on a normal PC, it should be less, like 6 to 10 seconds. So in that 6 to 10 seconds, you completely transform your desktop environment. However, it keeps all of the back-end stuff. If you've pre-installed apps, they will stay pre-installed. It doesn't matter which desktop you shift to. They will stay pre-installed. Even the settings in each of those apps will still stay set as they were before you changed your desktop. So it doesn't affect your profile, it doesn't affect back-end stuff, nothing like that. This is purely front-end system transformation, which is nice because you can move from one desktop environment to another one without affecting your current work or your settings or the way that you like to do stuff. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at these. We've got currently 8 pre-made templates. We can maybe add more in the future, but at this point in time we have 8 pre-made templates. We have the Windows, which is sort of Windows-like. We've got Flash, we've got Core, Simple, Unity, GNOME, Plasma, and Dash. Okay, to move between them, simply click on one. We're on the Simple. As you can see, there's the Simple menu. So we're on the Simple layout, right? And if we look at the desktop background, you'll see select wallpaper. You'll see this is the Simple wallpaper, which is like a mixed pack. Now, a couple of them share the mixed pack: Simple, GNOME, Plasma, and Dash. Those 4 environments, they share the same wallpaper pack. Unity, Flash, Core, and Windows have their own wallpaper packs, okay? So, let's move from Simple to something like Unity, okay? So I'm just going to click Unity quickly. There we go, click. And then you're going to wait a few seconds. Screen's going to turn white. Then you're going to get a message to say that it's transforming your desktop, and then it should be done. We're in a virtual box, so it is a little sluggish on a dual core PC. It will take a few seconds. On actual hardware, it's much quicker than this. Either way, it doesn't take very long, and we should almost be done. I see the mouse cursor now, so there we go, done. We're in Unity now. Now, as you can see, we've moved from there where we just had a simple bottom panel to a different environment where we have a top panel, a side dock, as well as a secondary dock for workspaces. Wow, so nice, okay? And as you can see, we have that actual Unity look and feel right now. Now, let's go back to the Layout Manager here. So we transformed from that to that in seconds. I mean, 10 seconds, maybe 15. I wasn't timing. But in just mere seconds, we changed from that to that. The icons are different. As you can see, we don't even have the same icon packs anymore. The wallpapers are different. If we go now to desktop backgrounds, let's select wallpapers there, and let's take a look here. Different wallpapers. You've got different wallpaper packs, different icon sets, different menus. Instead of that little pop-up menu, you've now got the full screen GNOME style menu. Different menus, different everything. Okay, so you've completely transformed your desktop in just a few clicks, okay, and a few seconds. Sorry, one click, few seconds. Now, so that's basically what these little preview windows are. You can just click on one and it will simply transform your whole desktop to each one of those. I'm not going to go through them. I don't want to make this video long. Just know that clicking on one, well, clicking on it and then just waiting for the system to transform, depending on your hardware, it could take like 5 seconds, or it could take 15 seconds, or maybe even 30 seconds if you have an old PC. Doesn't matter, just leave it. It will transform within a few seconds. Okay, so that's what these do. Just click, transform. Okay, so let's take a look at these buttons at the bottom here. Now, this video tutorial, that's what you're watching right now. If you click that little button, you get this tutorial. Okay, so that's to watch the video on the guide on how to use this. So the first step is easy. Right click, open layout manager, and you can set the layout manager. Okay, let's take a look at some of these other buttons. The desktop clock, if I click the desktop clock options, that just controls this clock, where I can move the clock, enable it, disable it, black, white, move it around, so forth, so forth, so forth. It's the same clock that you get there in the clock options. If you right click and go desktop clock, it's the same one. I just, instead of, people, if they move this bar here and they want to move the clock to the other side, instead of closing it and going to a different one, I just thought it's easy, just put the clock option right here. So now you can just open the clock and you can just move it to the left with one click. Quite easy. Okay. So let's go back to the layout manager. So click any of the little preview windows to change to transform. And there's the desktop clock options to change the clock. The panel options. Now this is an interesting option because the panel dock options will detect the environment, will detect the environment that you're in, and it will open up a secondary layout option. For example, we're in the Unity layout, right? So here the dock is on the side, not at the bottom like the bottom panel, right? So let's click on panel options. It will now pop up and it will show you. You can move the panel, this panel dock. You can either leave it on the left, move it to the right, and you can entirely hide it. So let's click on right. It's currently on the left, so let's move it to the right. Okay, so there we go, done. One click to the right. Now this panel dock has moved to the right, the workspaces dock has moved to the left, that one stays on top. Click again on the other side, the panel moves to the left again, the other dock moves to the right. But so easy, just click and you move it around. Okay, now the other thing to note here is that when you open up something like a terminal or something full screen, you still have the panel. People might actually want to auto hide this panel. They might want to have this panel auto hide. This is where IntelliDock comes in, right? So you can just click that and it says now you're set to IntelliHide. Okay, so let's just go back to layout manager here. Oh, if you put IntelliHide on, let's just open that full screen. As you can see, the side panel hides now. So let's go back to simple quickly there for a second. Because simple now has a bottom panel, not a top panel, not a side panel. So I just want to show you the dock options with simple menu. So just give it a second, it went white. Now it's going to pop up and say transforming your desktop. There we go. And you see the mouse cursors just changed. Usually very shortly after that it's finished. It's going to refresh the desktop wallpaper and then we're done. So now we're back in simple, in the simple template, right? In the simple desktop. So now if we open up the panel dock options, it's going to give us the option to put the panel on the top or on the bottom where it currently is, right? So you can now just click the top. It's very instant. Down, up, down, and you can click between these, doesn't matter. Okay, once again, just because you move the panel will not be set to auto hide. You have to click on the IntelliHide button here. Let's move it to bottom. Okay, so as you can see, it is not. If I open up something full screen, you see the panel is there. It's not set to IntelliHide. So let's click on IntelliHide and it will say your panel is now set to IntelliHide. Now if I full screen, as you can see, the panel is now hidden. Okay, to un-IntelliHide, you can simply just click on that little bottom dock over there and it will just reset it back to the bottom dock without auto IntelliHide. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which environment you're in. If you click the panel dock options, it will give you the panel dock options for that environment. Okay, so that's what this is. It just lets you further customize each environment individually. Okay, so let's move over to something like maybe Core or Flash. Let's go to Core. Okay, let's move over to Core. So let's transform. Core is quite a big transformation, so that might take a second or two longer. It has multiple menus, multiple docks. Really interesting desktop that. Anyway, there we go, transforming your desktop. Please be patient. You can see the little 3D mouse cursor, spinning mouse cursor, very nice. And it should be just about done. There we go, done. Right, so as you can see, we've now completely transformed again. Again, we've got a completely new icon set, as you can see. Got a top menu, pop down menu at the top corner. If we click over here, we've got the pie menu on the left of the dock. We've got the full screen menu on the right of the dock. We've got an actual dock with some shortcuts there. We've got lots and lots of extensions there. So, and of course, Core has its own wallpaper set, right? It's a very own wallpaper set. Right, so as you can see here now, let's go and maximize here. You'll see that the dock disappears. So in this environment, if we go to Layout Manager and we choose Panel Dock Options, you'll see that it will give us now 4 different options, not 2. That's because this dock can be moved 4 ways. Okay, so we can move it to the left. There we go. Dock to the left, dock to the top, panel at the bottom, dock to the right, panel still on the top, dock to the bottom, panel on top, dock to the left, panel still on top. Okay, so you can move it around. However, the moment you click on hide the panel dock, it will tell you the dock is already set to auto hide. Okay, so in this environment, the dock is automatically set to auto hide. So the dock options of the layout panel, layout menu manager, the dock options basically just detects which environment you're in and then gives you more options to customize that environment. Some of them, the customizations are not the same for each one. Some the panels move left, right, some they move top, bottom, some they move all around the screen. Some you can auto hide stuff, some you can't. So really there's just more customizable options with the dock panel options. And this is still in the works, so I might still expand on that. Okay. So we've gone through the desktop clock option, we've got the dock panel options, we've got the video tutorial, and we've got these. Now what happens if I want to change something? Let's say I change the wallpaper to, let's go select any random wallpaper. Let's just take it, there we go. I change the wallpaper, right? And I add something to the dock. Okay, so let's go open up over here and I add, let's say I add driver manager to the dock. So now driver manager is on the dock, right? Now, what happens when I move to, let's say I click again on Core. Obviously, if I click on Core, because that's a pre-made template, it's going to load that exact same template. It's going to undo my front-end changes. Just give it a second. There we go, transforming your desktop. And give it a second. And you'll see, it undoes my front-end. There, shortcut's gone. Wallpaper's back to the way it was. So it undoes my changes. Now, if people use this on a daily basis, they're going to want to customize it to their own, because not everybody likes this wallpaper, and some people would like to add some shortcuts in, maybe move some panels around, maybe add some extensions, add some desktop icons, change the cursor, change the theme, whatever. You make your own customizations. So let's go do some customizations. Let's go to themes here, themes. Let's change the cursor maybe to something like that. And let's change the coloring to maybe red. So now we red. So if we open up the file manager, everything's now red. Okay, cool. So we got red there. We changed the cursor. And let us add some shortcuts here. Okay, so let's add driver manager back, but let's add calendar as well, and let's add contacts. Let's put contacts in there too. Let's make it, let's add let's see what else is there. Let's add terminal. No, we've got the terminal there already. Let's add hypnotics in there. Let's add popcorn time in there. Okay, so now we've added quite a few icons. As you can see, the panels expanded quite a lot. Let's change this background. Let's make it a random. Let's just choose a random one. Yeah, that's okay. So we've made quite a bit of customizations. However, if we change any of these to transform to any of these and back to Core, it's obviously going to reset. This is where the settings button comes in. So to go you go to settings, right? Continue. And here you have additional options. Each of these boxes has 4 options below. Okay. If you want to make changes and save the changes to overwrite the default one, that's the default picture. That's what it looks like default, right? But now we've made a lot of changes, and I want to save these changes so the next time I click on Core, it loads these changes and not those. If I want to do that, all I do is click update layout on the core layout. Okay, so I just go to settings, update layout on the core layout. Okay, and if I want the clock black by default, I can just click black clock. If I want it white by default, I can just click white clock. It is white by default, but if I want to make it black, because maybe the wallpaper that I load is a white wallpaper or a light wallpaper in the clock, you know, I don't still want to change a clock every time I load, I can just make black clock. And then, so let's do that. Let's make a black clock. Okay, so we've set the black clock and we've updated the layout. Okay, so now if we go back to Layout Manager now and we click on core, let's see what happens. Everything goes white, and we'll say transforming your desktop. Please be patient. Boom, and there we go. Did you see the clock is now black because we selected black as a part of the template, and it saved all these changes. Okay, if we now go to Layout Manager, and it's still red, as you see, the menu is also red because we chose the red theme. Let's go to like Windows or something and then come back to core again, just so we can test if it really works when we change to another environment and then come back to the one that we just saved. Now remember, Windows is going to load the default template because we have not updated or saved anything there. It's still going to load it as it looks in the picture, right? So there we can see the mouse cursors change to like almost like a Windowsy kind of mouse cursor. Transforming your desktop, and it does this in seconds, by the way. As you can see, that's pretty quick. Now we open up here, we see it's the default menu. We look here, let's take a look at the coloring. You can see it's yellow and orange. Okay, great. So it's an orange theme with yellow icons, and you can see it pretty much looks like that, right? So let's go change a couple of things here as well. Let's go to desktop background. Let's go next wallpaper. Let's just choose some random wallpaper. Okay, choose another one. Don't like that one too much. Let's go see. Okay, so there we got a random wallpaper, also green but a different one. Let's go change the themes here. Let's go to themes and let's choose maybe the little boat kind of icon there, and let's change this to blue. Okay, so now we've got a blue theme. As you can see, blue icons. We've got this little boat thing over here. Let's go to settings quickly. Let's go continue. Let's update that layout. We're now in Windowsy kind of layout, and we're going to update it so it saves this and not that. Okay, so there we go. Update. Great. It says your layout has been updated. So we've now updated and saved the new core layout as we changed it, and we did the same for the Windows, right? So let's go back to core now and see if it loads our updated layout, not the default template, but our updated layout. Okay. Let's go see if it does that. It should load the longer dock. Remember, we had the sort of deserty wallpaper with a black clock. There we go. As you can see, it's loading the longer dock. Nice. Transforming your desktop. Please be patient. I can already see the mouse cursor. Look there. See? It's now loading the updated layout. Okay. Now, what happens if I want to go back to the default? If I want to go back to the original, right? Or if I go to settings, continue, and I update the wrong layout. Okay, all I need to do then is click the restore button. This restore button, there we go. Your default layout has been restored. As you can see, the clock even turned white. If you click the restore button, it will restore the original template. Okay, it will restore the original template. So this button updates the template to the current whatever changes you've made. This button will restore it to the original template. Okay, so you've got that little safety trigger there that you can use if you mess up something. Because, for example, we could accidentally, even though we're in core, right, we can go update layout on simple. We're in core, but we're updating the simple layout, right, with this layout. So now if I open up Layout Manager and I click simple, it's not going to load simple, because I've updated and overwritten the simple layout with the current core layout. I mean, look there, as you can see, instead of loading simple, it's now loading core, right? It should be loading simple, but it's loading core. So if you do make mistakes like that, or if you want to restore the default, all you need to do is click continue and then just click restore there, restore there. So now both of them should be restored back to factory default. And let's go Layout Manager and let's just go check. Click simple again, and it should now load the simple. There we go. Wait and see. So you have the option to update the existing layout, okay, to the changes that you've made, or you can restore it to the default, okay. So that's a nice feature, really nice feature. Not only do we give you 8 different desktop environments, but we let you customize them and save them. As you can see now, we're back in the original simple menu. Okay, so I just want to restore that Windows as well. There we go, so that those are all now default. Okay, so if you make changes on any environment, you can just go update the layout of that environment and it will save those changes. That way, the next time you load that environment, it will load your custom changes. If you want to restore to default, you can just click restore default. Okay, now once you've updated the changes, okay, let's say you make changes to simple and so forth, and let's say you move the panel to the top, you set it to auto hide, you change the background, you change everything, black clock, blah 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 blah, okay, but the picture is still the same. The picture is still gonna be the old default one. If you want to change the picture, you can just go to settings, continue, and just click on the picture. If you click on the picture, it actually tells you the image size to use, 200 by 156, and you can just replace any of these images with a new screenshot of that size, 200 by 156. These are all 200 by 156. So you can then screenshot your desktop as it is, resize it down to 200 by 156, rename it to whichever layout. Simple is layout 5, so you can just rename your image to layout 5.png, replace this little image over here, and then when you open up the layout manager again, it will be the new image that you've created, which is the new default image then. So you can customize even the images. You can even replace these images, okay? So lots of options. So you got the options to transform your desktop. You got the panel options for each environment to basically customize further in each environment quickly and easily. You got the desktop clock options, and then you got the settings button. If you click on settings and click on continue, you can either update the layouts, restore them, set the default clock to load with the environment black or white. Okay, so some nice options there, some really nice options. Each of these environments is very uniquely designed in a very unique way. So it's really difficult. It was a really difficult task to make them in the first place, and even more difficult to set it to transform between them. And then we still give you the option to customize and save your customizations. Truly amazing, truly amazing. But anyway, this is the actual layout manager. This is how it works. So I hope you understand now better how to use it and what all of the options does. You click a little preview here to change an environment, panel options to customize that environment further, desktop clock options to obviously move the clock or whatever, turn it on off, settings, continue, and in the settings you can update the pictures, you can update the layout, you can restore the layout or set the clock black or white. It's quite easy to use. Might look complex, but it's actually quite simple. And of course, don't forget that you can either open it from the desktop, right click, open it from there, or go to the portal and click appearance settings and open the layout manager there. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I hope it has now made you feel more comfortable with using the layout manager. See you next time. Bye bye.